Hello friends, today we are going to study about the machines, that how many types of machines are there, what are the operating modes of machine, and how the EMF induced in the machines. These all the things we are going to cover in this lecture. So the machine can be operated in two modes. This is suppose a machine. So machine can be operated in two modes. First, if we apply mechanical input, if we apply mechanical input, then it convert it into the electrical output. If this machine convert mechanical input in electrical output, then called generator. If this machine converts electrical input power into mechanical output power, then it is called motor. So machine can operate in two modes, first in generating mode and second is in motoring mode. If I talk about in generating mode there are generator DC generator, synchronous generator and induction generator. I will explain these machines which are working as a generator, which are being used more. If I talk about DC generator, it is not being used as much as synchronous generator is used. Because of that, DC generation is possible, but it is not being used because of its transmission is not possible. Because during the transmission, this machine cannot be transmitted for long transmission because of no such device is available to boost up the DC power and to boost up its voltage magnitude to the higher level. No such device is available. But if I talk about in AC power, there is a device that is transformer. It can boost up the voltage magnitude by changing only the transformation ratio. This induction generator, this is also not used. So first I want to explain that why synchronous generator is used mainly. Synchronous generator is used because it operate at the speed ns equals to nr, and it provides constant output power. It provides constant output power. That's why this is used most of the time. We have a need of constant output voltage power so that the device can be operated. Induction generator is not being used because of it can generate only active power. It cannot generate reactive power. That's why it is not used in AC system. And because induction generator is nothing but it is a induction motor. We are just doing that, we are increasing the speed of induction motor so that it can operate in generating mode. This is a induction generator. Synchronous generator is used because of the constant output power. Now if I talk about the motoring mode, in motoring mode there is a DC motor, induction motor and synchronous motor. synchronous motor. DC motor. Earlier, DC motor was being used too much as compared to the induction motor because of the good speed control of DC motor. Good speed control. Speed control. Because in DC motor, speed control was good. Second, high starting torque. High starting torque was possible in DC motor. Good speed control was possible in DC shunt motor. This is a type of DC motor. And high starting torque is possible in DC series motor. But when inductor came in the picture, at that time induction motor was not being used because of no good speed control was available for induction motor. That's why it was not being used as much. DC motor was being used. But when the speed control, that is VYF control method, came in the picture to control the speed of induction motor, then this induction motor has replaced the use of DC motor. The VYF control can be done only by changing the voltage magnitude and frequency magnitude, and this is possible by the converter. Converter means by using SCR. If we use SCR, this is SCR, but changing only the triggering angle, firing angle alpha, we can change the frequency as well as voltage. So keeping this ratio constant, we can change the speed of this induction motor. That's why this induction motor has replaced this DC motor. This VYF ratio is keep constant to keep the flux in the core of the machine constant, so that the core loss can be reduced. The core loss can be given by eddy current loss plus hysteresis loss. And these two losses are dependent on the frequency. The hysteresis loss can be given by KH B max frequency. See, hysteresis loss is proportional to the frequency. So by changing the frequency, we can control these losses. Synchronous motor. Synchronous motor is not being used because of the load is variable in nature. If load is variable in nature, the specialty of this synchronous generator and motor is to operate at constant speed. Since the load is varying, if load is varying, then this motor cannot be operated at the same speed, because speed is varying because of load is varying. So this machine cannot be used, because if this machine is being used, then the mechanical disturbance in the machine may occur because of the load is varying. Now we will see the how EMF induced in these machines. So to understand the EMF concept in these machines, we need to understand first the Faraday law of electromagnetic induction. Because of this Faraday law of electromagnetic induction, the EMF induced in these machines. So what the Faraday law says? The Faraday law says whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in a rotating magnetic field, then it experiences a force, and whenever a conductor cuts the magnetic field and rotates in any particular direction, then a EMF induced, and this induced EMF and magnitude of this induced EMF is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux with respect to the time. This Faraday law says. But the Lenz law lens gives the direction of this induced EMF, that this induced EMF is equals to minus n d phi by dt, means the EMF which induced is opposite of the cause by which it produced. Here this n represents the conductor. This is the flux which is varying in nature and changing with respect to the time. There are two concepts by which the EMF can be induced in the machine, that any one of the parameter may should change, either conductor or flux may be varying in nature. So let's understand one by one how the EMF induced in the machines. First I take the example of DC machine. I take the example of DC machine. So DC machine construction we will see here. This is a stator. This is a stator. This is a two-pole DC machine. This is a two-pole DC machine. This is N, this is S, these are the field lines. Since we know that the field lines flows from in air from N to S, this is N pole, this is S pole. In DC machine, the DC field means DC supply is given in the stator. So the flux is not varying with the time, means the flux is time invariant in nature because it is not varying with respect to the time. So it is a conductor here, conductor is placed. So have a flux linkage, any one of have to be in motion. So this conductor is rotated in a particular direction. If this conductor is rotated in particular direction, then this cuts the magnetic fields and EMF can be induced. In DC machine, there are brushes. These brushes are used to receive the amount of AC power. Then this AC power can be converted into DC output power by using commutator. Armature always have AC power, means the EMF can induced is in AC in nature. So there is a AC power generates from there and converted into DC power by using commutator here. So here the flux is time invariant in nature, but this conductor is rotating in nature. That's why EMF can be induced in DC machine. This is electromagnet. Electromagnet is nothing but iron core. This is the iron core. This is iron core. If we give the DC supply here, plus minus V volt, if I give the DC supply here, then it contains some magnetism. If I replace this DC supply, then also it contains some magnetism, that is called residual flux. Residual flux. This residual flux is responsible to operate DC machine. If I talk about in DC machine, there are two types. DC machine has two types. First is separately excited. Separately excited. second one is a self-excited. So this residual flux is to operate this self-excited machine. This self-excited machine cannot operate without this residual flux, but separately excited DC machine can be operated without this residual flux because of the field is applying externally. But here this self-excited DC machine is operated by using this residual flux. So here the use of this electromagnet is too much important. This electromagnet is used because we can control here the strength of flux in electromagnet. There are magnet or two types of magnets. First is natural. Second is electromagnet. This natural magnet has constant flux. We cannot control, reduce and increase the amount of flux in natural magnets, but we can control the flux in electromagnet because this flux is given by MMF, that is Ni, product of turns and current upon this reluctance. It is a path just. So by controlling this amount of current, we can control the amount of flux in electromagnet. It can be controlled by DC supply, as we know that DC supply is given onto the stator of this DC machine. So by controlling this supply current, we can control this amount of flux. That's why these electromagnetics are more popular in use, and these are responsible for flux production. That's why these are being used. Now we will see the flux linkage in synchronous machine. Second is synchronous machine. How the flux is EMF induced in synchronous machine. So if I draw the diagram of synchronous machine, this is a stator, this is a stator and this is a rotor, this is a N pole, this is a S pole, this is N pole, this is S pole. Now DC field is given onto the stator, so the flux is time invariant in nature. Means it is not changing with respect to the time. Here the three-phase supply is received from the stator because of armature conductor is placed on the stator, and thus DC supply is given to the fields is given to the rotor. If this field is given to the rotor, then this rotor is rotated in particular direction. If it rotates in a particular direction, then it cuts the magnetic fields. If it cuts the magnetic fields, then EMF induced onto the rotor of this stator, and this three-phase supply can be received from this rotor. This is the concept of EMF induced in synchronous machine. Now the question arises many times that why this DC supply is placed, this field winding is placed on to the rotor and armature winding on the stator. So there is a simple reason that if I use the armature winding onto the rotor, and field winding onto the stator. Suppose this is a rotor and this is a stator. If I use here armature winding and here field winding, so the slip ring used in more numbers, we need 4 slip ring. three slip rings are for three phases and one slip ring is for neutral. So we use a large size of slip rings. So these increases, this is slip rings, so this increases the initial cost, this increases the cost of the machine. If the armature is placed onto this rotor, then the conductor size is increased. If conductor size increased, then to rotate this rotor, the centrifugal force is so high to rotate it. So high centrifugal force is required to rotate this conductor. Second is slip rings. 4 slip rings are required so that supply can be received from this rotor, and rotor size increases because of the conductor size is high onto this rotor. So these are the disadvantages if we keep armature onto the rotor and field winding onto the stator. That's why we keep the field winding onto the rotor and armature onto the stator. Third is cooling is not possible. Cooling is not possible if we keep the armature onto the stator and field winding onto the rotor. We can cool it easily, but if armature is placed on this rotor, then we cannot cool it because the efficient cooling is hydrogen cooling. So if we provides here cooling ducts, if we provides here cooling ducts to cool the rotor, then hydrogen gas leaks here. If hydrogen gas leaks here, since here current flowing is so high because of armature on the rotor, so I square losses increases, and there hydrogen leakage. So there may be fire problem may occur in the rotor of this machine. So the cooling is not possible. So these are the main disadvantages of keeping the armature onto the rotor and field onto the stator of this machine. First is centrifugal force is required so high, slip rings are required 4. Third is cooling is not possible. Third we see the EMF in transformer, how the EMF induced in transformer. So this is a core of transformer, this is a core of transformer, this is a primary winding, this is a secondary winding, this is secondary winding. Here load may be connected, secondary winding. Here flux is time varying in nature. Here flux is time varying in nature means flux is varying with respect to the time and conductor is stationary. In synchronous machine, the flux was time invariant in nature and the conductor was stationary but field was rotating. Here confusion may occur that which is rotating. Flux is time invariant in nature means flux is not changing with respect to the time but it is rotating in nature because of this rotor is rotating. B gives this field winding on to this rotor and we rotate this rotor. If we rotate this rotor, then field winding rotates but the flux is time invariant in nature. Here flux is time varying in nature and conductor is stationary. If conductor is stationary and flux is time invariant nature, then by the formula equals to minus n d phi by dt, there is a change in flux, then EMF can be induced. Here the winding of primary and secondary must be S so that the flux flowing in this core can be kept constant, so that V by F is kept constant. The EMF induced in transformer can be given by relation 4.44 F phi N. If I simplify it, 4.44 F phi is B into A N. This is voltage. E upon F equals to V. This B is proportional to the flux. If this V by F is keeping constant, then this flux is constant. If this flux is constant, then this core loss on this transformer can be constant. So this V by flux is kept constant to keep the flux constant in the core of this transformer. The transformer winding must be as that the flux, suppose the current is flowing like this. If current flows like this, then the right hand rule, if the current is flowing like this, then flux direction is like this. If flux flowing like this flux flowing like this in this direction, then the current must be leaving from this side. If this flux is leaving from this side, then flux is in this direction. If flux is in this direction, then it opposes this flux. This flux is in this direction and this flux is flowing in this direction, so these two fluxes are opposing to each other. If these two fluxes are opposing to each other, then flux can be constant. If flux is constant, then core loss is constant. Suppose if current is entering in from here, if current is entering, then the flux direction is downward. If flux is downward, suppose flux is like this, then the direction of flux produced by this secondary is same as flux produced by this primary. So these are adding in nature. Flux is adding here. If flux is adding, then flux increases. Then core loss in the transformer increases. So these are the principle by which the EMF induced in the machines. Thank you.